Jeez.
That's very fast.
At first, I thought they were talking another language. I genuinely thought they were talking another language. And then, like, after a while, I started to process some of the words. I'm like, oh, okay, they are speaking English. I just can't understand half the words they're talking. Hi.
Hi.
This is Alice.
And this is Kai.
And welcome to our channel. So, today we're going to be taking a step away from food, taking a step away from sport, and looking at accents. So specifically 13 American accents ranked from easiest to hardest to understand.
Okay, I am very bad with accents.
I'm curious which one the hardest would be. It's got to be a deep southern or deep south, surely, because they get quite thick and quite...
Maybe. I'm not really sure. I guess so. From what limited information we have.
Where do you think the easiest would be, though?
Shall we just find out?
Let's begin. Let's just jump in.
Which is the easiest American accent to understand, and which is the hardest?
Well, how y'all doing? I'm about to learn you something real quick.
Well, I chose 13 accents from all across the US, and I ranked them from easiest to hardest. Who am I to do such a thing? My name is Ollie Richards. I speak 8 languages. I've written dozens of language learning books.
Oh, 8 languages.
Accents, especially English accents from across the pond. So let's see how many of these you can recognize.
Good evening, your time now, 3:42. This just in. Me. I send things over to my colleague here, Robert Burton. You know, Robert, it was such a wild day at work. How did things go over on your end?
No, this is not a trick, but don't try this at home. Listen, you might think you've got a handle on the American way of talking, but trust me, it's a far more complex beast than you might imagine. Now, the easiest accent is so common, it's practically invisible.
This is what people think of most when they think of the American accent. This is when you're going and you're watching movies and you're hearing an American, this is what you're usually hearing.
Easy to follow, easy to imitate, and as American as apple pie. Think Jennifer Aniston.
I will see if the thing that I think that I know is actually the thing that I think that I know.
The voice of any news anchor or your average Joe.
Yeah.
Not only if we all began to wear suspenders would we increase the net masculinity of the American public, and you're just sick and tired of always looking like a plumber when you bend over to get your work done.
Of course, it's no accident they are speaking like that on purpose so that you will all understand them. It's what's called the general American accent, the gold standard for clarity. If you come from places like the Midwest or Northern California, well, congratulations, you're probably rocking this accent without even trying. Now, things can only heat up from here, so as we go along, I want you to keep your eyes and ears open. There is one accent on this list that non-Americans voted as the hardest one of all to understand. Which one do you think it is? See if you can guess before we get to it, and no cheating.
So we're gonna go back to the house and maybe chill for a minute or two. Then we're gonna meet up with our pals, eat some supper. Sounds like a plan.
I can
If you don't get
understand
this
him
accent
quite
right off
well.
the bat, then you've probably never watched American TV. It is the accent of sun-kissed beaches, tech giants, and avocado toast. And Hollywood loves it. There's no shortage of characters mimicking this accent. Hard to understand? I wouldn't say so, but a lot of other foreigners get confused.
Just say what you normally say, but just do it like in a slower, chiller way. You know what I mean?
Right, okay, I see it now. Nothing like a little bit of vocal fry to warm you up. Heavy on the vowels, got a bit of a drawl, and everything's a question. You know where we are?
The words are stuck in the back of my throat. I have like a vocal fry, but I don't know, like it went away. People were like, you know, it's not that big of a deal.
If you said Southern California, you are right on the money. But by the way, as you can tell, I don't have a
Did kind of suggest that might be the
Not
easiest
at all,
one, didn't
actually.
I?
So if I say something here that you disagree with, don't hold back. Let me have it in the comments. All feedback is welcome. Now, some American accents are straight fire, while others not so much. We've covered the smooth talkers, but now we're heading into trickier territory. Ears at the ready.
I growed up talking like this. I just kind of had to learn how to church it up a little bit, you know, to get a job. But it's always been here. Frankly, I'm a little bit more comfortable talking like this, so this is what I typically default back.
It is friendly, it is popular, everyone in the whole world knows it, and despite the drawl, it's surprisingly easy to understand, because as you can hear, nobody's in a huge hurry.
And our accent is known for really drawing out its words. Someone like Matthew McConaughey is a perfect example of this.
You heard the lady, but I've got to warn you, this accent's got more accents than a rattlesnake's got rattles. So even if you can guess which state it's from, you'll have a hard time nailing down the exact region. For one thing, there's all the Spanish loanwords.
I don't give up easy. You know, in Spanish they call it terco, which means hard-headed. It might take me a while to accomplish what I want to accomplish, but I set a goal and I'm going to try to achieve it.
With all that history and all those horses, what are you going to get? Well, a bunch of Westerns, for one.
I say, let's us put our bread in some of that gravy while it is still hot.
See if you can tell me where this guy is from. It's one of the oldest and most distinct accents of the whole state.
Well, didn't find nothing first 30 minutes. That's a telltale sign I don't need to be out here.
It is the sound of the piney woods, and we are obviously talking about the Texan accent. And in case you're wondering why I've got Texas in the easy bucket, well, it's only because we're so familiar with the accent from movies, and this is what it makes it somewhat easier to understand. Any Texans out there? Listen up, how good are you at knowing who's who in your state? The University of Texas did a study on this, and more than 70% of Texans claim that...
Can't pause it. So that's good to know, though. And I suppose it does make sense, because growing up, I've watched a lot of Wild West, or Westerns, I should say. And they obviously all speak like in that particular way. So it is quite easy to understand, although I would consider it a harder
I think
accent.
we're familiar with
isn't
it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
And that's why we got used to hearing it. And
that's
it's
good,
not
though,
as...
because if we visit Texas, at least we know what they're saying. I did kind of have a fear of, like, if we go to like the deep south somewhere, we can't quite, you know, like when you sort of someone says something and you're like,
maybe.
What?
Yeah.
Excuse me? There's only so many times you can say excuse me, and then you've got to be like, okay, yeah, no worries.
Identify someone's exact area based on their accent. It's a huge state, though, so that's pretty good. How about you? And if you think we're off to a good start, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell for more awesome accents from around the world.
Coffee! I got coffee here! Coffee! I got coffee! Does anybody want coffee?
Frank, I'll take
That's definitely New York.
What are you trying to be funny, Karen? You're not funny. You're really living up to your name.
Welcome to an iconic accent. It's fast, it's loud, it's often very nasally, and it can often sound urgent or assertive. In other words, the accent is anything but laid back.
Have a nice sandwich with me, okay? We'll make a nice sandwich, veal sandwich.
Well, that's just a dead giveaway. It was influenced by Italians, and a bit of news here. My list
Oh,
is
no.
my
You got
list,
it
so I'm
wrong.
including American opinions, but this accent came up in that survey I mentioned earlier, remember? Which accent do non-Americans think is hardest? This wasn't the winner, but it's in the top 5. The thing is, even Americans traveling abroad with this accent often say that nobody understands them. So it's not as easy for us foreigners as you might think. In some neighborhoods, you might even wonder if you accidentally switched into a different language.
I remember I lived on East 81st Street, across the street from my grandparents, which was really nice as a kid growing up.
What a great accent. Where's she from? Which part? Well, these city folks always use a heck of a lot of idiomatic expressions, all their own, and the regional identity is very, very strong. Last clue.
Quick question, is there a supermarket or deli where I can get cold cuts around here?
Definitely.
We're
New
all
York,
hungry,
isn't it?
hon. Let's settle in and we'll figure it out. I have no mascara on. Valentina, don't worry about the
I think
remote right
so.
now. We didn't travel 800 miles.
I think someone in a sitcom, one of the female lead characters, reminds me of...
Is that Family Guy, the lady?
No, it's...
Lewis. Is it Lois?
Lois. No. I'm just thinking of, I can't remember what it's called, but it was based in New York and she had this exact accent. It was a couple.
Okay.
Also watch Cake Boys.
Go on, pause the video and put your best guess in the comments. Here it comes. Bonus points if you got Brooklyn and Staten Island. It's the iconic sounds of New York
That's
City.
very,
New York,
that's quite specific.
No, it's
yeah.
New York.
7:45, he wakes up, he goes down to church, St. John Chrysostom. Then he comes home, he puts on his black and gold, heads on down to Heinz Field, meets up with my cousin Natalie Carapinas. They hang out there, have a couple kielbasa's, have a couple irons. Wow. Right? That was English.
These guys might as well have their own
What?
dictionary. I'm not joking, I threw this one in because when you mix all the local words in with the accent, it gets a little bit confusing, at least I think so. And they really seem to have fun with it. Examples? Well, first of all, forget you all or you guys. Here, it's all about yins. It's a staple of the local lingo.
Yeah, I'm going downtown there. I got my IROC off of blocks, you know. I live up in Washington County. We're going to get down and check out the game this Sunday.
I didn't get a word of
They
that.
talk fast and there's a lot of squishing words together. If you're not used to the pace, you'll probably be asking them to slow down a little bit. One more clue?
Hey, you best watch that bush. It's full of jaggers. Hey, it's been raining all night. Be careful on them steps. They're slippy out there. Yeah, I'm just letting that work right now. Meet me downtown. We'll talk about it.
Right, place your bets now. We are talking about the funny, quirky accent of, here it comes, Pittsburgh. Did you get it? I knew it. You guys are good.
I got a pig
No,
and
I
a
didn't.
pin,
No,
corn
you
feeding
didn't.
bone. All I need's a pretty little girl. If I'm when I'm gone.
Love it or hate it, this accent is very, very popular. It's as charming as it gets. Nobody's going to argue with that.
3 kids later, I'm over here doing daddy stuff. Like my buddy called me the other day and said, hey man, bike night's coming up. You gonna be there? I said, oh, when? And he said, Friday night, 6 p.m. I was like, oh, man, my oldest, he got a bounce house party. I got to go to that one.
What on earth is it number
Bounce
5
house.
though?
Bounce
Well,
castle.
that drawl might be so smooth, so cool to our ears, but Easy to understand? I don't know about that.
I thought that was quite clear.
I didn't. Yeah, I
struggle.
could understand him quite easily.
Yeah.
I think it's the terminology they're using sometimes that we don't like. We
We're
call
not
it different
familiar
things, so the
necessarily.
lingo's a little bit different, isn't it?
But I think he was also rather chill about it, not very fast. So I think that helped.
Yeah.
Yeah. No idea where that's from though.
No.
Starts off all... And then things get gradually trickier the further south you travel.
By God, living, breathing Yelp review coming in here pitching a fit before he's even had a bite to eat yet. I swear to Conway Twitty, you make me want... When you're hotter than grease, say yes to peace. When you're hotter
Buddy,
than
where are
grease,
you from?
North Kakalaki.
North what? Listen, you guys occupy a huge area of the US, and you have so many accents that some are borderline dialects.
North
so
Carolina?
Easy or hard definitely depends on which neck of the woods you are in.
It's currently 78 degrees. I'm bound to contract malaria, get snake bit, and my feeder might even start making popcorn.
She didn't say nothing. She brought me a whole thing. I don't eat much of that stuff. I eat a little bit of supper. Read that, then I go bad because I don't eat.
With all the sub-dialects hiding in
I didn't
the
get a
valley,
word of what
things
he
can get
said.
Pretty crazy.
My best friend got this man, and for the life of me, I cannot find any like in my heart for this man. I ain't got no like in my soul for this man, but the hatred I got for this man, y'all, is strong.
Try losing your friend in the woods, and you'll know all about it.
I don't know if I can take someone seriously.
Like you two doggone white folk done left me in the damn woods. Hurry up, come get me.
Pure rage.
It is, of course, a southern accent.
What's next?
Oh.
Dad's trailer. Thought I'd see my friend Wyatt. Was walking.
But then the Texan accent was quite different to that. So I don't know, because obviously Texas is a southern accent as well, and that's very understandable for us. I struggled with some of them ones. So maybe they're just doing
because
a
we're
bit
not,
of
again, we're not that familiar with those.
and some of the lingo as well, right? Yeah.
Out road, John Deere DT 170 was out in the front yard. He was one son, saw his dad's welder mask, he had it on. I went over to him, he's like, "You want to see something?" I was like, of course I do. I wouldn't mind.
Anyone not know where this is? Well, people like me have to go scrolling through Netflix to get a clue. Now, some people say this accent is much more rugged than others from the region. I read this on good old Quora, but I couldn't tell the difference between that accent and the next one if my life depended on it.
Got 3 lawnmowers, 4 4-wheelers.
Whoa, buddy, way to cut us off.
Massachusetts. 6 dirt bikes, couple boats,
Now, let's say, for instance, you're hanging a picture on the wall, and it just needs to move just a bit. You would say it needs to move just a dite, just over, just a dite. Not that much. Just move it over, just a dite.
And then there's this other place that does strange things like adding R's in weird places. We're headed to the beach for some coffee, milk, and grinders.
Well, the Providence Place Mall is the largest cooperative mall in New England. Pretty cool. What do you think? If we go to Providence, go downtown, it's only like 20 minutes away.
What do you say? Better write down your guesses quick, because I'm going to give you 2 for the price of 1 here. It is country versus big city. If you guessed Vermont, Maine, and Rhode Island, you got them. But did you get the order right? There was a survey about this. Yep, here comes the survey. And as it turns out, when Americans are traveling overseas, us foreigners understand you least if you're from Rhode Island, followed by Maine. Stephen King would be proud. Okay, you can stop holding your breath for the big city accent. Here he comes.
On your right now is going to be another Dunkin' Donuts, okay? Straight up like over the hill. Across the street used to be another Dunkin' Donuts / like Baskin Robbins combo. You know what I'm talking about. All those deals. It's gone now. Anyways, on your left is a Stop and Shop. That's where my dad likes to go. My mom likes Roche Brothers, but she says it's too expensive. Anyways, that's where my dad goes, Stop and Shop. There's a Dunkin' Donuts in that Stop and Shop. You're going to go straight through to the Rotary.
Tell me about your accent.
I've been parking cars.
Okay.
A lot of walking around. My dogs are barking. Dogs are barking.
Have you been to the Charles River?
I've been to the Charles River. I saw Marky Mark there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Boston, baby. Wicked cool town, I hear. In fact, Dave on the story learning team has run the Boston Marathon. Very proud of him. That's right. And if you know your geography, we are in New England. It sounds like they're rebelling against the rules of American. By the way, did you know that American accents are actually getting further away from each other, not closer? Experts say so, and who am I to argue? I just love accents, don't you? Accents and telling stories, and that's why I make all these videos.
Oh, hey there, friend. You want to come over to the backyard and have a little cocktail?
Are you kidding? It's 33 degrees and raining.
I know, it's like spring break, eh?
No, it's freezing right now.
No, it's not.
Hey, I haven't seen you since last summer on the lake. How goes it?
If you want a pop culture phenomenon, here we go. Prepare to laugh. While you're at it, see if you can pick up some fun regional differences. So these guys are known for their good manners, strong family ties, Scandinavian blood, and a sing-song sound, as any soccer mum will tell you.
I was driving down the road the other day and I was in my van and this dang deer just jumped out in front of my van and I didn't even know what was going on.
I never thought I'd put Taylor Swift in my videos, but she deserves this one. How about that accent though? Not so hard to copy, right? Don't be fooled. Try this on for size.
So where are you going to Christmas? Well, first we're going to get the family together. We're going to go to Famous Dave's Barbecue, you know, around Calhoun Square.
Oh, haven't you been to Hibbon? Because Hibbon's so nice, especially around this time of year. Or you go to Findlay, or maybe you go to Grand Marais.
You know, I have. Actually, we're going to go to Hinckley.
Jeez.
That's very fast.
Like, at first, I thought they were talking another language. I genuinely thought they were talking another language. And then, like, after a while, I started to process some of the words. I'm like, oh, okay, they are speaking English. I just can't understand half the words they're talking.
And also, sometimes from region to region, the difference is not that noticeable for people like us, outsiders necessarily. So a couple of those kind of sounded very similar.
Yeah, so I think like dialects generally, we probably won't pick up on so much. It's just the harsher changes. If you know what I mean. So going for some like, I don't know, New York to Texas, like we can really notice that.
Yeah.
But some of like the inner ones inside, like, I don't know, New York and or anywhere really, any particular state, I don't think we can really pick up on the small variants.
Yeah.
But some of these are like really hard to actually understand, aren't they?
I've also just noticed that it's a 25-minute video. And maybe we should do this like a two-parter.
Well, how far in?
I think we're at number 8 now.
Okay, well, why don't we finish this one at number 8, and then if you guys enjoy what you see, we can always come back, or we can make it a longer video. What do you think? We could do a two-part.
Yeah, let's do a two-part because
let's finish this one, and then we can wrap
with
it up.
our waffling on, it's going to be a much longer video than that in 24
we've got a bit
minutes.
more talking yet, haven't we?
Yeah.
Okay, let's finish this one off then.
You ever seen the museum there? Apparently
This is the
whole
Taylor
city
Swift one,
caught
isn't it?
fire
Yes.
when you take the 494 to Mall America.
Tell me what she said verbatim. I dare
What?
you. The accent is from.
I don't know what she's.
Wow, it's from
in the end.
Minnesota, also known as the North State. Nice one. Did you know they have the oldest rocks on Earth here? True story. I'm going to sneak in another one here, and I'm kind of cheating putting it in with the number 8s because things look very different when we touch down in the city where they don't have Scandinavian blood, and they're famous for the very particular ways they say their A's.
Travel around the country, which I did mostly by illegally riding freight trains, which some people might have a problem with, but whatever. It worked great for me. I mean, it's habitat for wildlife, if anything. For me, it just makes me feel nice when I've been outside dealing with most of the human infrastructure that I normally find so revolting. This is
Again,
a lot more
for me, that he doesn't not sound very different.
No.
To
some of the others we've heard, but I can really understand him quite clearly. Whereas the two ladies previously, like, I think I was really struggling with those.
I think those were the hardest ones for me so far.
So far, yeah. I think
the Minnesota ones.
This just calms me down a little bit.
No doubt about it. He's from Chicago, one more wonderful accent in the Great Lakes region. We're past halfway, and I had a hard time choosing which accents to include because there are a few really divergent ones out there. If you know any of these immediately, better write it down quickly in the comments.
Okay, let's stop there. Okay, so accents. To be honest, I couldn't really tell you where any of them were because it was all like.
Yeah, and he was also
clips.
doing a few at a time, so he was showing a few different people talking, and then there were 3 different areas.
Well, we just had we just went from like Minnesota very quickly to Chicago, and I genuinely thought that guy was from Minnesota but a different variation, and then suddenly he's from Chicago, wasn't he? So that confused me a little bit. But
also when he was talking about Vermont and Maine and stuff, those were kind of grouped together.
At the same time,
and that was a bit confusing.
In all fairness, though, those 3
did sound.
Well, they might have sounded the same, but I struggled a little bit to understand those as well. So I'm thinking if we ever go up there to get some nice lobster rolls, we're going to have to just really ask the guys to speak a little bit slower.
Slow it down,
guys. Like, you know.
But yeah, the California one, like you said, very easy to understand.
I wonder if that's because also it's kind of like he said with the general American accent, you know, where like the broadcasters and whatnot and the anchors. I think that they kind of like the Californians are a little bit like that as well. Kind of a bit more generic, if that makes sense, in terms of their accent. So I would imagine we've also seen a lot of televised movies, shows, everything with
based in California,
those
maybe,
areas and that accent. So it's quite
makes sense.
Feels quite natural American to accents. Like that's what we associate.
That feels like standard American accent in a way.
I suppose it's a little bit like when Americans do British accent. It's always the posh. Would you like a cup of tea, or you know, like a tea and scone, or It's eye opening for me, like all these different accents all around, like and actually placing and finding out where how different states sound as well. It's quite interesting.
Yes.
It's sort of blowing my mind a little bit because
it's a little bit confusing. It's a little bit hard to understand at times.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting, isn't it?
Cool. They're also having their own, slang and words that like
the jargons and
the jargons.
Stuff,
that's it. And they're going to start throwing some words at us, and we haven't got a clue.
Yeah, we're going to be like, what?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I know for some of that. No, that's all. Okay. We're waffling on more as well. We're on 25 minutes and we're not even halfway through the video.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, if you've made it this far and you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps us. And thank you for watching. If you do want to see a second half to this video, let us know and we'll get it recorded and get it uploaded as soon as possible.
Yes.
But let us know in the comments if that is something you'd be interested in. But
until next time,
bye for now.